Change Talks Black Sheep, and I am propositioning you to entertain just in and out. And this is gonna hurt soul sisters and brothers because a lot of us cannot accept reality. I empower you to, for 1 year, to subscribe to the Reality Temple on Earth. And at the end of 12 months, draw your conclusion of what have you learned in that amount of time. I empower you. You will never, ever, ever think, feel, or entertain nonsense ever again, period. I would like to see my soul sisters and brothers awaken. This requires time. You need to spend about a year watching, researching, and looking. Reality Temple on Earth is life-changing, and I stand on that.
Let's get this party started. Ride. Let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started. Ride. Let's get this party started. Ride. Let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started. Ride. Let's get this party started. Ride. Let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started. Ride. Let's get this party started. Ride. Let's get this party started quickly. Game begins in 3, 2, 1.
Peace forever and always, and welcome to another spontaneous broadcast of what we call the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the gatekeeper or the host of this program, known here on social media. Wherever you may find me, I am known as the Mate Angel Snub 7. I am your soul brother, number one. I would like to thank all of you in the chat room, Deacons of Reality, Mellow Cap, Almond Delight, those who are in the skies, and those who will be listening to this broadcast at a later date. Our people in overseas in London, England, and around the world. Sister Tangi and her family in California, I thank you so much for your support in making all this better for me in my walk, in our walk, in what we call reality. That is natural for us. There's no need to believe. There's no need to have faith. Simply, we come into this earth or into this life and we leave. We don't have to try to explain nothing in between. There's no fillers. But when we have to engage in a religion or spirituality, or in some facets of black scholarship, we have to use fillers. We have to try to explain because it contradicts life itself. We should ask questions about a man born of a virgin, because we don't see that in our reality. We don't see that in our world. We should ask questions about those who claim that when we pass this life, we go into another dimension and spiritual. We should ask these questions. And believe me, at one time they were asked. But many of those who dare ask such questions were ostracized. They were made mockery like we here. And they were murdered. And this is a conversation that those in religious circles or spiritual circles, they don't like to talk about because they want to put on this show like they represent peace. There's nothing peaceful about religious beliefs. All of them were promoted by violence, severe violence, wars. It was forced upon the masses because the rulers began to see, I can control the people with these fairy tales easier than with the army. Because if I can program how you think and I know how you think, I know what you will and won't do. And now with modern technology, religion is still being used, but with modern technology, now we control the television. We can put things on the internet to control the minds of the masses so the masses don't rise against the evil that the Bible and the Quran talks about. Even those who are supposed to be against evil won't rise against evil because of these teachings. They won't rebel. They won't fight the power. I will leave that for the spirit. I will leave that for the God or the spook or something. And you won't take your destiny in your own hands, which is unnatural behavior, because all life on this planet takes their life in their own hands. A lion don't depend on God. A giraffe don't depend on God. Even the stray dog going up and down your street don't depend on no God. Only us. How did we get this way? We should feel an anger, and there should be an anger towards religion and spirituality. And I even added some of these black scholarship teachers. I even added that because they have made things worse for us. They have not made things better. They have made us even more enslaved. And it's not even a problem for the black man and woman in America. So, brothers and sisters, this is a human problem. Before I set all this live stream up, I was watching some television, cable, whatever you want to call it. And they are always talking about their new programming. And I watch all these game shows, and what's that show? The Brotherhood. They put the people together, and the brothers, and Survivor, and all this foolishness. There's nothing in the programming that makes the mind want to think. So Monday through Friday, you fill your head up with television, all this programming, this nonsense. What are they programming? They're not programming you to think. There was a segment when Jay Leno was host of The Tonight Show, and Jay Leno used to go out in the street and just ask people questions an American citizen should know. You're an American citizen. You live here. You was born here in this country. You was educated in this system. And Jay Leno would go out in the street and ask basic grade school questions to random people, and nobody didn't know nothing. Most people was just stupid. Not only are you stupid in life, you're stupid in the origins and the history of the country that you was born into. Some of them, of course, were able to go get their degrees and pass grade school, and they graduated high school, and some of them graduated out of college, but still don't know basic history. Unless you want to go on Jeopardy. And only a select few can go on Jeopardy. And Jeopardy asks questions about white people life, what they like. They're not asking questions about what the average black person, what we're interested in if you go on Jeopardy. It's all about European history and things of this nature. But the programming is not to program you to be a thinker. The programming is to make you docile and to keep you foolish. And of course, religion comes on television on Saturday and Sunday and put the frosting on the cake for those. Fill your mind with pornography. Some of you like pornography. You want to watch ding-a-ling and putty-tat. People sweating and grunting and hollering and screaming. And you don't give a damn about what's happening in the world. All these fools in leadership position that can make decisions that can wipe you off the face of the earth, and you don't give a damn. Because all you don't want to do is, even grown people playing games. You just want to go to the movies and be entertained. Even those people in Palestine. You live in an environment like that, and they as a people making a certain amount of income, but they've done nothing to secure themselves, because one day those bombs gonna get to dropping. But it reminds me of animals at the slaughterhouse. Or some of you have piranha fish in a tank, and you buy these feeder fish, and you put the feeder fish in the tank. The feeder fish just live their life. The purpose of the feeder fish is to become food for your piranha or whatever other fish you got in there that eat live food, that need live food. And we think the same. We are in a slaughterhouse and you don't give a damn about what's going on in your world. You just living life, having fun. Going to the Taylor Swift concert. I'm going to see Beyonce. I'm watching all this madness. See, there's a problem with myself. There's a problem with people like myself and common sense. There's a problem with us. Because we see this madness. And I can't shut it off. Why I can't be stupid and just ignore? Why I can't shut this channel down and just say, forget it. I'm going to just have fun. I can't do it because I have a conscience. That's why I can't do it. See, because everybody in their heart don't want to be stupid like that. They don't understand what has happened to them. Because there was a time I was like that. This is what some folks don't understand. I was like you at one time. I'm not making mockery of you. Other people. Unfortunately for me, I had to learn through experience. So now I'm bringing my experience so that you don't have to go through that, so you don't have to, so that you can see through all of it. I'm not talking about this garbage that Black Scholarship keep teaching. You got to be awakened. Ain't nothing awakened about them. We're having technical difficulties already. We're having technical difficulties. They're no different than the people they talk about. Except you take the white out of the equation and you replace it with black. It's the same stuff. So that's why I have a problem with Black Scholarship. I have a problem with Black Scholarship because they don't really tell the reality. They don't really show the reality. They're not telling it. They're not telling. Some of them know they're making a fool out of you. And some of them don't really have that intent. They just don't know any better. How did we get in this situation? We got in this situation by people because we wasn't born this way. There's no baby that come out the womb talk about Black Power family. No babies do that. There's no baby that's come out the womb talk about white power. Praise Jesus. Hotep Ashe. We come as a blank slate. And if you left us alone, we would be doing just what any other life form on this planet would be doing. Trying to find something to eat, drink, shelter, have sex, and reproduce. like all the other life form on this planet. We wouldn't be thinking about all these things. These other things come from people's imagination long dead. Don't even know nothing about. They left this and it was passed on from generation to, so they're not natural. They're not natural to us. These things are taught. This is the problem. This is not personal. A lot of folks take, you keep your mouth shut about your religion and your spirituality and your black pseudo history. You shut the hell and stop trying to promote it. But you're not going to do that because you want to get as many people on your slave plantation as you can. So if you have the right to convert and promote and force your lies on children, because children don't know nothing about this, it had to be taught. And y'all child abusers, you begin to brainwash the child almost as soon as it come out the mother's womb. Because none of this stuff is natural. The baby don't cry for Jesus coming out the womb or Muhammad or Set. These things are taught to us, regardless to when it started, in Egypt or whenever. These things was taught. And it was forced on the people, and it was passed on from generation to generation. And as it goes down from generation to generation, it's taken as a reality because that's all we know. I know when I was a little boy, I never was taught that Jesus was a belief. It was always real. They didn't even use the word belief. This is our son, this is our belief. We believe in Jesus. They never even used the word, we believe in Jesus. So I didn't even know what you mean by belief. What is that? All of this was real to me. And come to find out, all of it is fairy tales and mythology. And I base my life around these things. And you feel stupid. I was having a conversation with somebody on Facebook. And they always telling me I put people down and make mockery. No, you put yourself down because you're too intelligent, because you know what I'm saying is right, but you won't let go of the foolishness. That's why it hurt. It hurt because when we bring our argument about these things, you have nowhere to run. I'm making mockery. I'm putting you down. No, you putting yourself down. You making mockery of yourself because you too intelligent to continue to believe in Santa Claus, because that's what it is. It's a version of Santa Claus for adults. The same principle. And we force that on children. And this month, they still forcing these lies on children. You should eradicate that or make it very clear to the children, this is not real. This is just some fantasy. Have fun with it. Some children actually believe Santa Claus is real. Some children believe that. So the lies continue. This goes to show that you're not a parent, because a parent's job is to protect your children physically from any kind of harm, but also from mental harm. There's no child. This is religion is a predator behavior. They pick on the weak like children. They pick on the weak. And when you're doing bad in life and the oppressed and oppress people. Because you don't see wealthy people rallying and going crazy and talking about the spiritual realm, and all this is the imagination of poor people because you're living in a bad shape, and these things give you a way out. It's escapism. And for those of you who aren't religious, then you turn to the bottom. Get drunk. Get high. Calgon. There used to be a commercial called about Calgon. Calgon, take me away. It's all escapism. Trying to escape. So we cannot reach our potential as human beings founded in lies. Because that's all it is lies. And for me, I'm tired of trying to be nice to people. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. You are a liar. I'm tired of playing ring around the roses and be nice to people because they take your kindness for weakness. No, I need to tell you exactly. You are a liar. Your teachings about Jesus, you are a damn liar. Your teachings about Muhammad and your Hebrew and your black scholarship stuff, y'all telling outright lies. And they won't come here. Some of the little flunkies will come here. But the ones with the big followers, they're not going to come here because they know they're going to go down in flames in front of their audience. They're going to look stupid. But see, it don't make any difference because their audience will still accept them, knowing that they went down in flames. I saw a debate with Pastor Gino Jennings, I think it was, versus the Nation of Islam. And I like a lot of what Pastor Gino Jennings be talking about. But sir, you still promoting lies. But Pastor Gino Jennings, I think that's what his name is, he did not use the Bible with these Muslims. He used straight Quran. He used straight the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's what he used. The topic was, did Allah create himself out of darkness or something like that? That was the topic. Elijah Muhammad teaches that Allah created himself out of triple darkness. And the Quran says that Allah is self-created. It didn't come. The Quran says that Allah created the darkness. So they went back and forth. The reason why the Nation of Islam is going to lose this debate is because the Quran supersedes Nation of Islam teaching. The Quran is the ultimate authority. So if the Quran says this, it don't make no difference what Elijah Muhammad said. The Quran supersedes those teachings. And when the debate was all said and done, and this pastor, a Christian pastor, showed them that these teachings is off. It's not with the Quran. Instead of accepting that truth, they're going to tell Pastor Jennings, I'm still going to believe Elijah Muhammad. That's why I don't go back and forth and debate these people no more. Because they don't want to know the truth. They don't want to know the reality of nothing. So you wasting your time with people like that. They are like a leech. They are hooked on to whatever it is that they believe in, and they go for it. So for them to run around and talk about, we teach the truth, and we say, you're a liar. Your teacher, you're a liar all the way around. You don't give a damn about no truth. If I'm on this video and broccoli start coming out my mouth, and you tell me broccoli is coming out my mouth, I might not see it, and I call you a liar and don't believe it, that's on me. The reality is broccoli is coming out my mouth, and y'all tell me, hey brother, you got broccoli coming out your mouth. I don't want to believe it because I'm embarrassed. Man, where the hell that broccoli coming? Where it come from? Because I'm embarrassed. That's the reason why many do not want to accept the reality. Just like Brother Common Sense was saying yesterday on the live stream from yesterday. Some of our people have invested too much into these belief systems. And they're going to ride it all the way out to the end. But they know better. They know. But they're not truth seekers. See, I was introduced to Elijah Muhammad teaching ever since I was a little boy. But when the doors start opening, I began to see something was wrong. Since I'm a truth seeker, even though it hurt, I had to begin to become attracted and embrace the reality and the truth, because I'm a truth seeker. I thought what I had was the truth, and it worked for a little while. It stopped working. As we mature, as we come out into the world, we begin to experience new things. 1 and 1 is 2. But if you didn't know another one was there, you're going to still say 2, but now it's turned into 3. Because you didn't know that there was another one. A jury cannot make a decision on evidence that they don't know nothing about. That's why a lot of people are falsely incriminated or incarcerated. Because if the jury had just this certain amount of evidence, it would have changed the case. But they didn't have the evidence, so they had to judge the case based upon what they had. So this is the age of information. There's a lot of things coming out that they did not have in the 1930s. They didn't have in the 40s and 50s. And above all, in the age of information, like this brother took his name, it's common sense. More and more people are gravitating towards common sense. They're gravitating towards what is logical. What being analytical. One of the most popular shows on television, which I do like, are those forensic shows like CSI. Because in order to be a CSI, you have to go in there and look deep into the evidence to try to solve a crime. And really, this situation that we're in is really a crime scene. This is a crime against humanity. Religion, spirituality, and this stuff that has happened to us, it's a crime against humanity. It's a crime scene. So I'm a detective. Brother Common Sense is a detective. Brother Talib is a detective. All of us here, we're detectives. On the scene, solving the crime. And you know how it is when you're solving the crime and you tell them about certain suspects, even some of the family members. I can't believe Susie would have done that. She wouldn't kill her own children, but Susie did. Susie killed her own children. She was a lovely mother. That's what you thought. Apparently you didn't really know Susie that well. Susie guilty. Susie killed her own children. So I have to have a conversation like this. Because this has been going on for thousands of years. And now it needs to be exposed for what it is. It's nothing but slave teaching. It's nothing but Santa Claus teaching. We got to let it go. And especially hurt black man and woman in America, soul brothers and sisters. It really hurts us because it's keeping us from embracing those things that will help us get up out of this condition once and for all. Aren't you tired of this situation? Aren't you tired of going round and round, round and round? That's all religion and spirituality is. Some people say that there's a difference between religion and spirit. No, it's not. Spirituality is the mother of religion. The only difference between the two, one is individualized while the other is organized. Both of them spooky. Spiritual realms and the vibrations and the demons and all this other spooky stuff. They all the same stuff. There's only one real spirituality. The emotional connection to another life form, like we have team spirit. You know, we all in the court. That's all it means. We all in the court. We're cheering for the Bulls. We're cheering for the Lakers or whatever. Team spirit. We're all in one accord. Same spirit. Or it's what you buy from the liquor store. And we really like that kind of spirit. Some of y'all will run to the liquor store after this live stream. You might be at the liquor store right now. Go ahead, Snupper. I like hearing Snupper talk. Go ahead, Snupper. Talk about that weed. We should want to stop this merry-go-round. How long has the devil been fighting Satan? Now, mind you, Satan ain't never said nothing. It's always what God said. God said, what do the devil say? The devil don't even defend himself. The devil just the bad guy that never says nothing. The Joker always talk. Lex Luthor always talk. All these bad guys always talk, but this devil, who been around for thousands of years, never talk, never defend himself, never said nothing. Get blamed for everything, the earthquakes, anything bad, blame it on the devil. He never says nothing. It's always God. And this fight between God and the devil been going on for thousands of years. Like, damn. I thought a boxing match was like a minute, 3 minutes around or something like that. This boxing match between God and the devil been going for thousands of years. Like, damn, this is a long ass fight. This goes on and on. It never, Tom and Jerry. Tom been chasing Jerry since the 1940s. Popeye been fighting Brutus since the 1940s. Like, goddamn, when is these things gonna come to an end? They just go on and on and on. But see, the thing about all this, if it all comes to an end, then what do all these religious folks do? It got to keep going on and on and on. Because if it don't go on and on, the pastor don't have a job no more. These preachers, these folks don't have a job no more. All these books, the Bible don't mean nothing no more. Our situation has to come to an end. You should be sick of this. Our conversation always black and white. The white folks and the black people, the white folks and the black. Like, damn, when is stuff gonna come to an end? It just goes on and on. On and on. White man's the devil. And all this other stuff it just goes on and like, damn, when is it gonna stop? One reason why it can't stop is that these folks don't know how to stop it. That's one reason. Another reason, they don't want to stop it because they profit from it. They benefit from it. Why mess up a good thing? But it's hurting us as a people. For those of you who have children, why would you want to continue to hand this down to your babies? The same madness that you had to deal with. You should want to stop it. The buck should stop with us. Because we know better. And we're in a situation, we're in a position to stop it. You can't, how you gonna love your children and you do nothing to stop this madness that interfere with their their life. Because if you eradicate all this garbage out of their life, they can go on to do better things. This world wants you stupid and dumb so you can fight their wars, drop their bombs, kill other people for them. Slave. Whether it don't make no difference what your color, skin color is. Slave, human slaves for some damn body. Nothing but slave. And even Caucasian people know what I'm talking about. It's true. They tired of being slaves. They understand that they slaves. The buck should stop here. This foolishness. I said what I need to say, basically. Joining the panel is our brother from yesterday, Common Sense, joining the panel. And Brother Talib, how y'all brothers doing this afternoon, evening rather?
Doing all right.
Peace and positive energy, fam.
Yes, sir. Well, we know what the topic is, and I'm just going to pass the mic to our brother, Common Sense. Brother, go ahead and shoot what you need to do. Please, Hammer, don't.
Yes, sir.
Please, Hammer, don't hurt him.
Yes, sir. Just to add on to what you already said, I wanted to point out this at first when you said, it took you 20 years, 25 years, such and such. See, but it's brothers like you and brother like Talib that help younger brothers that splits that difference. So we don't have to go 20 years.
Yes, sir.
It's a sacrifice. So even though you may feel uncomfortable about how long it took you to see certain things or respond to them, the moment you did see it, you came and told other brothers of your kind so that they wouldn't make the same mistakes.
Yes, sir.
And so if it wasn't for brothers like y'all that will stand up and say, hey, look at this. They're saying one thing and they're doing another thing. They're taking money from the people, and the people are living out in shacks. They can't pay the bills. They can't do this. But this is what the belief is promising. Because a belief is a religion is supposed to be a belief backed up by action.
Yes.
And you can't tell a person, hey, if you do this and you do that, God will reward you for this. If you do this, that, and the third, you will get food, clothing, and shelter, friendships in all walks of life. So much money you can't count it.
Huh.
And so if a brother like you or a brother like Talib go through that process and get the experience, you come back and share the experience. That's how we wake up. That's how we break generational curses. That's how we develop and begin to use our minds, because we're not taught or trained as young children into our young adulthood to ask questions.
Yes.
We was always told to be quiet.
Yes.
Just do as I tell you to do. And that was handed down from slavery. That's what the slave master used to tell a slave. Hey, you do the work. I'm going to do the thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but you're doing all the work and getting nothing in return but hardship. And so that same mentality, that same mindset has been passed down. And this is what makes religion difficult and dangerous, because they know people are easily led astray, because they already know that the majority of us, most of us, are already distracted by non-constructive things. So by the time we get into a stage to where we don't care what it is, they said it's going to work, other people saying it's going to work, I'm going to try it out. So then they go and waste 20 years because there's nobody there in that organization or in that religion that came out of that to warn them. People just tend to, what happened to me, I'm embarrassed, and I'm going to go about my business.
Right.
But we're not trained to ask questions and answers. We're not trained to get to the bottom line, to the truth. I heard you mention a show called CSI.
Yeah.
It's just like in the courtroom. When you sitting, when you being charged with something,
when that lawyer or that district attorney walk up to you, he don't want to hear what you thought you was going to do or what you felt like you was going to do. No, he want to know what you're going to do. And he'll tell the judge, hey, permission to treat this witness as a hostile, because we here for the truth. So we don't need to hear why you parked on that street at 7 o'clock. The question was you on that street at 7 o'clock? And like you said, we're truth seekers.
Yeah.
So it's the mind that we came. Our beginnings was looking for the truth, and we wasn't detoured by that. It's just that the truth that we was looking for, and we got some truth. We got half truths. And because the people that most of the speakers I got to get for gabbing, they very manipulative. Like you said, they're predators.
Yes.
They groom you in the beginning. There's going to be people that pick up the phone all types of night. There's going to be people that check on you. Hey, brother. Hey, sister. How your day's going? Hey, do you need something? If you need something, call me. So you get comfortable. They groom you for the next stage. So when the time comes for help, now it's trust in Allah. God will answer your prayers. Keep the faith. The whole time you working like the slave master had you working. You don't do the thinking. You just do the doing. And so because we don't use logic, because we haven't been trained to use logic, it's like taking when you bring the truth to somebody that's born in an atmosphere full of chaos and corruption and confusion, and they adore non-constructive things. It's like taking a fish out the water. The fish don't know it's a fish. It just know that's where it's been its whole life. So when you take it out of that, it starts to resist. It jumps around. It tries to jump back in the water. And that's how our people are. They just like that with that fish mentality. See, if the fish knew it was a hook on the worm, he wouldn't bite the worm.
That's right.
But they put the bait out there. They show you the success stories. But we don't see the man behind the mirror. We don't see that person, they're getting paid hand over fist. They're robbing Peter to pay Paul, taking money under the table. They living good. But it's a pyramid scheme almost. Here, I bring you in, you go get 2 more people. If you go get 3 people, then you can live like this. You can be in the rank and file.
Right.
And so religion has always been a system of haves and have-nots. There's always been a rank and file. They got the leader, they got the elites, they got the ones that's the right hand to the elites, and then they got everybody else that do the work. It's like the middle class people. The middle class in this society do all the work, pay all the taxes, but they don't get the tax breaks that the rich get.
Right.
And then you got the people that's what we would consider under the middle class. They don't have to do anything and still can get free homes, free food, free cash, and they don't have to do anything. So religion is, to me, religion is the same way. And any religion that teaches you not to think is a cult. And those same people, they'll use that Bible. And I think it's in the book of Job where Job said, question all things and stand fast to which is true. So some of these religious leaders and some of these quote unquote spiritual people, they don't want you to question their belief, because if you keep asking questions, you're going to get to the truth. Just like when that district attorney got you on the stand as you saying you a witness, they're going to ask you questions, multiple questions, because the goal is to get to the truth. And our people have not been trained like that. So it takes brothers like me, brother like you, brother like Talib, and other people that's in the comment section in your listening audience. We just got to hold the line. We have to stand on truth. And we have to remember that our people are like that fish out of the water. When you bring it to them, when you take them out of that atmosphere, they're not used to that.
Right.
So they're going to jump around. Some of them going to bite you. Some of them going to attack you. Some of them going to just jump back in the water. You just got to keep fishing. And spirituality is just a misnomer to where they can just cut a corner, get you on another side by saying, hey, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual.
Right.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Spirituality. Yeah, spirituality, if we want to put a definition to it, it's just a unseen truth manifested through seen behavior. But you can't tell me you talk to the ancestors, and I ask you, well, what do they say? And then you say, well, they don't directly talk to me, they guide me. So see, now you're saying one thing and doing another. You just as manipulative and a predator as the rest of these people. And spirit, when you're talking about dealing with spirits, what type of spirit? Who knows? Okay, let's say you do burn 12 candles and burn some sage. How do you know that's a good spirit? How do you know that's not an evil spirit you taking off? You don't know what type of spirit it is, because the spirit can't be seen. That's what I was raised.
Right.
And how I was taught. How do you know? How do you know what type of ancestor your ancestor was? Maybe your ancestor was the one that sold his own people into slavery.
Wow.
That took away. Maybe your ancestor was a Judas. You don't know who your ancestor is. So if you can't tell me who your ancestor is spiritually from 200 years ago, I know damn well you ain't gonna tell me you connected to your ancestor 20,000 years ago.
Yes, sir.
That's not logical. But this is what some of these black scholars, when we use scholarship, well, who's doing the research? Are you reading books that was already written? Or are you doing the groundwork? Are you doing the labor? They say some of these books that they read, it's 100 years of research. But you 40 years old. You're reading somebody else's research. The same people that changes history constantly without you noticing, they still do it.
That's right.
So how you know you even reading the truth? How you know they didn't set that up for you to come follow it, so you can be like the snail riding the turtle's back. You're going nowhere fast. And that's why I can't listen to some of these black scholars, especially when they get to talking about, our ancestors. We know our ancestors was over here because they found this type of spoon or this type of bowl. What does that mean? That don't make you a scholar because you go and read somebody else's history or what somebody else did. First of all, we got to know what type of person that was.
Yes.
What type of spirit did that person carry? Because it's a lot of white scholars. They told us that black people brains were smaller. They were even one scholar. They used his references for all through the 60s and the 70s, and then they found out that the skull that he found wasn't even real. It was a makeshift skull. So what are we talking about? We literally watched the Arabs and the Turks and the Persians go into Egypt and tear all of that down and re-scoped it and took over the land. Some of them periods you can't even go in. You're going in places where they allow you to go. You don't know that tour hours are from 9 to 6 o'clock. You don't know what happened at 8, and you don't know what's going to happen at 7. It's a show. So a lot of these scholars, they're not even scholars. A lot of them, they'll go and read a few books and they'll memorize something, and then they'll come back and talk to us because the majority, they know a lot of us won't take the time to read. We'll just prefer to watch a YouTube video or watch a documentary. But to sit down and read, that requires discipline. And like how we was talking yesterday, see, one thing these organizations do provide, they teach you discipline. Not in a way to say, hey, you need to be disciplined. It's because you're trying to change. And when you're genuinely about change, you're not going to associate anything with yourself that's gonna self-sabotage you from the new growth or the new person you want to be. But what these other side of them organizations and these religions is also a safe haven for the crook and the predator. Because a lot of these people, all they be doing is really relapsing. See, they wanted to change, or they wanted to hide who they used to be. So now they'll come join the nation. They'll come join Malachi Z. York or Yahweh. They'll claim, they're a Kemetic person, or they're a Rastafari. They'll claim that stuff. But give them 5 to 6 years, 10 years. Then they'll be claiming something else. Then they'll be claiming something else after that. And then after a while, they can't take it no more because they're running from themselves. They're not really changing themselves. They're changing their clothes. But their body and their mind is still fine. And then they'll in the end, they'll run to that. Well, I don't believe in stuff like that. It's African spirituality with me. You ask them, hey, well, what does that mean?
Right.
Which part of Africa?
Mm-hmm.
Which tribe? What did they study? What do it require? Do it require you to eat something different? Do you got to follow certain laws? What do you mean spiritual? Oh, I'm just a free spirit. Okay, now we get into the meat and potatoes. You just want to believe something. You want to be different. And that's fine. But what you're doing is you're confusing people. And that's what the system has trained you to do, because the system operates off of confusion. That's why you'll get a T.D. Jakes when the Bible say if two of the same are together, it's abomination. But when they ask of T.D. Jakes, is this accepted? He said, oh, yeah. Jesus loves everybody. But that's not true. Hate is taught in the Bible.
That's right.
Love and hate. Like how you said, the devil and God been fighting all these years. And how we know who winning? Because he also said that for a rich man to get into heaven will be like a camel going through a needle hole. But look at all these people chasing money and trying to be rich.
Exactly.
See, we don't be really believing it. We really don't be believing in this stuff. It's because we're irrational, and we've created this imaginary world to, if I feel like I'm this, that I am. And that's not logical, and that's not the truth. Just because you feel like something don't mean that's what you is. Because if you believe that, when those Transformers, them Decepticons, say they feel like that, you wouldn't look at them crazy. You wouldn't say, well, that can't be. You was born like this. You can't just feel like that and it be. But you can. See, that's a contradiction. That's what makes religion dangerous. Spirituality to me is it's the same as when people say, God the Father, God the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Who is the Holy Spirit? What does he do? Is that something that possesses you? Because we was raised, when something possesses you, it's evil. You don't have to be possessed to do good. You just got to do the right thing. And so when we do see these people talk about, their spirituality and they're dealing with the ancestors, we look at their behavior. And when their behavior ain't changing the condition around them, or a group of them in the organization is not changing the position around them in life, and the system still rules, there's only one religion, and that's the religion of white supremacy. Because their belief is backed up by action. See, we running around, it's just Halloween 24/7, 365 for us. But they sell us the outfits and the candy and provide the homes for us to sleep in and the jobs and the cars to drive. They provide all that. And it's no benefit, because why? We still in the same place. Right now, they're getting ready to change 20 laws and bring in 20 new bills by the end of this week. And we sitting up here talking about Jesus is going to make everything all right. Put your trust in some people just can't stop playing the game because they're addicted to the game. It's just like the heroin addict. They'll see the drug take their home, take their family, keep them at a standstill, never moving, never progressing, but they'll still shoot up. Even if there's people coming and tell them, hey man, don't do that, it's destroying you, I'm looking at you. What they'll tell you, hey man, I'm working on it, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. That's how I feel when I talk to a religious person. Or a person that say they're a spiritual person.
Yes, sir.
I just look at their actions. And so we've already drawn this conclusion. So our duty, like how they say it in the nation, your duty is to civilize the uncivilized.
That's
well,
right.
our duty is to point people to the truth. It's like the old saying. You ever heard that saying when somebody say, I can't see the trees. I can't see the forest because of the trees. But they don't see that the trees make the forest. You're looking at the forest. But you as the individual has been manipulated so many times, you're looking for just one specific tree. But when you talk, you're looking for a forest and you're looking dead at it. But you think the trees is in the way. Because somebody's trying to get you to look at one specific thing. And that specific thing is why we keep going in circles. Once we go into the woods, we get lost. We don't know which way we came in and which way to get up out of there. And so when the people, once they hear conversations like this, they slowly begin to see, because you got to apply logic. Logic is the universe. The universe is logic. And nature is logic. Every year, if you live in a certain part of the country, the seasons come around the clock. Nothing changed. It's the same process. When it get cold, all the leaves fall. All the birds go south. Everything happened. That's logical. So nature has already given us that ability to apply logic. We don't come out looking for a Bible. When we come up out of our mother's womb, we already know how to solve problems. We just only have one way of doing it. When the baby cries, it cries because it's hungry, or it cries because it's wet. Now, it has a problem and only know what to do one thing, and that's to cry. Now, when that mother or that father responds, that baby say, hey, this is how you get things done. As it get older, it's gonna tell you. It's gonna tell you, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom. Hey, I'm hungry, mommy. But in that process, because we're not trained to use logic, we destroy that process by telling children, you ask too many questions. Stop asking so many questions. Go somewhere and sit down. Find something else to do. And when we start telling them that, what do they end up finding? Something that everybody else is doing. And what is everybody else doing? Either you got one group believe in the devil, one group believe in God, one group say they believe in something and can't spell it backwards or spell it forward. So now we put them in confusion, because that's all that's around us, because that's what the system created. So when a person say they don't want to do religion no more, it's because it was confusing as hell. But then you went over here and it made you feel good. Now you think if you burn some candles and you burn some sage, all your problems, all your questions will be answered.
Right.
And that's not how it works.
Wow. Woo!
I yield.
Wow. Very good. I really enjoyed that round. That was. You wasn't fit. Were you finished, brother? You want to take a break?
Oh no, brother. I like to respect people's platforms, because I can be long-winded. And that's something I'm getting better at.
Yeah.
Because it could be a point I made or something I said that another person could take me deeper into.
Yes, sir.
Or get me to see another way that'll help me in another area. It's just the steel sharpens steel, brother. I'm real long-winded.
Exactly. Well, I want to hear some more from you. We're gonna go ahead and pass the mic to Brother Talib here. Brother Talib, you in the house? You there?
Yes, sir. Yeah, thanks for allowing me on the platform tonight. And shout outs to you, yourself, and Brother Common Sense on this live panel. And to all of those of you who are listening in the live chat and that are listening in social media land. Okay. As I've been sitting back processing this stuff that I've been hearing from you two good brothers, spirituality is something that's the unknown, and that's the unseen. So when people in religion thrive off of that, they're really living a complete lie. Their whole life existence is based on that. So what it comes down to is that this is the reason why soul brothers and sisters, 40 plus million of us in these United States, haven't got nowhere. Because we still based our lives and futures, well as our present, on a lie. And when you're living a lie without especially realizing it, then that's a dangerous situation to be in. So, from what I see is that all the times I was involved in these different, or trying to be involved in these different schools of thoughts, whether it was Malachi York, the Nation of Islam, the Boyd Science Temple, and so forth on, it was like I was living on a false promise, like many of us that were, and that still is. So when I see this, I can now say to those that are getting indoctrinated into this, wake up before you get yourself too deep caught up into something that you don't really understand. So that's where that spirituality thing takes us. And like I heard y'all use as far as the narrative with dealing with slavery, yes, all that definitely derives from being passed down from slavery through generations to generations. And this is the reason why so Black people cannot think for themselves. You see what I'm saying? And even when it was time for us to go to the battlefront lines during that Civil War that determined whether we would still be in chattel slavery or not, we were fighting on different sides. Like I heard someone else say, we were fighting on different opposite sides. So we were confused all together. Huh. You see what I'm saying? So you think about it, let's say if the Confederates would have won the Civil War, we'd have really been in hot water, because those of us who fought on the Union side wouldn't have had a chance in hell. You see what I'm saying? And then those in the Confederate side wouldn't have had a chance in hell either, because we was all confused in the whole situation when all we had to do was pick one side. And that would say, come on, we got to be free. No, we not fighting to preserve the Confederate. We ain't even fighting to preserve the Union. We fighting because we want our freedom. Mm-hmm. And then we can take it from there. You see what I'm saying? So when we was in a situation where we had others thinking for us like we still do now, this is why I always tell people, if these white folks decide that they actually want to put us back on the chattel plantation, it wouldn't be nothing we could do about it. Mm-hmm. And see, these pro-Black conscious organizations, have a tendency to make Black people believe that, that could never happen. Yes, that can happen. Matter of fact, they got even more high advanced resources where they can make that happen. You see, but we so low in our tunnel vision as a group that most of us ain't trying to see that. We ain't trying to hear that. You see what I'm saying? Because we know everything. And of course, going back to religion based on spirituality. Because when you hear them Christians say, oh, God gonna work it out, we ain't got nothing to worry about, just let God work it out. See, that there is dangerous. Because no God has ever came on this earth that we know of, even during these modern times, to save anybody from anything, humanistically, okay? So, all this spiritual garbage that people be talking and that these people use to manipulate and control people with is why this world is going in the direction that it's going, for worse and for worse. You know, like I heard